So, as a woman in the corporate world, the beyond just the corporate world, but even as a woman, an African woman on the motherland, there are a lot of experiences that a woman will come across that somewhat it defines you, or you can permit them not to define you. Sometimes you find that you have to prove yourself, with double efforts as compared to a man. And I know there's a lot of narratives out there, like it has been overflogged. The gender narrative has been overflogged, but we'll keep encountering it because there are certain issues that have been encountered that have not been dealt with. But one of the things I'd like to say to my women folk, before I even say to my women folk, I'd like to say to the male folk, or even women who don't understand the narrative of the aggression or the defensiveness of a woman. Um, I'm not personally, I'm not a feminist, but I'm very feminine. I like to sit down as I embrace my womanhood. I love the fact that I'm a woman. When people say they are feminist, I don't agree with it, but I understand it. And I think that's where we can begin to have a conversation with feminists, that community of people. Why are you a feminist? What do you think about it? I just like to be known as as a women's advocate. And for me, that's enough, and in us saying we want to talk to feminists and bring them to the table, if you don't say you understand their narrative, the reason for their extremism, in quote, you will lose the discussion, or you will lose the table where you're having a conversation with them. Has there been an injustice perpetuated through history? Has it existed? We need to admit that, right? If we don't admit that, then we will not have anyone, that ongoing conversation. I like talking about the story of Moana. I love the story of Moana. It was so representative for me, especially a particular part. It was so inspirational. So Moana was trying to restore the heart of Tefiti. And in trying to restore the heart of Tefiti, after she had gotten the heart, she got to where the island was meant to be, and she discovered that the obstacle in form of this spitting volcanic female entity was actually Tefiti without a heart, you know, and she had to sing a song. I've come a long way to find you. I know your name. They have stolen the heart from inside you. What she was trying to say was that, you know, they've stolen the heart from inside of you. And then she goes, this is not who you are. So when you see, and I'm not saying feminists are that volcanic, spitting, nasty. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying if you encounter a woman that is that way, find out who stole her heart. And if you have the empowerment and the equipment, restore her heart. In restoring her heart, you will restore her womanhood. So, and a lot of times, even younger women folk or younger females, they see a woman who's bitchy, who's nasty. You've not been through her life. You get to her age, you get to age 40, 45, 50, go through her own process where she's had to prove a point repeatedly, where she's had to defend herself repeatedly, especially in a male dominated sector, and work twice as hard as any male in that sector. And then you wonder why she's bitchy. The process made her that way. However, it's not an excuse for nastiness. We must, as women, decide that whatever process we go through, that process cannot define us. We define the outcome by how we are. We choose to be, to be women. We choose to remain feminine, and we choose to be just. And I know that some people normally say things along the lines of, or why don't you just be a human advocate? Why do you have to be a woman's advocate? That's like saying, why do you have to be a dentist? Why not just be a general surgeon? They all have their place. Any area of specialization gives attention to detail, and in giving attention to detail, there'll be more inclusive solutions. So again, as a woman in the corporate world, personally, I like to go back home and tell myself, my daughter, my mentors, my mother, my protege, my sisters, what will I say to them going forward? I'd say ensure, as you remain in the corporate world, ensure regardless of what you encounter, not just in the corporate world, but in the world generally, ensure you retain your femininity. Is important. That that which makes your womanhood is that which you're going to use to win your battle and fulfill your calling at the end of the day.